Marquette Coach Shaka Smart joins us on the Eye on College Basketball podcast. It is always a joy to see you here at Madison Square Garden. Listen, I'm picking you third in the league, all right? I've got you as like a top 25 level team. I believe in you. I believe in your system. Parrish and I talked about it on our longer Big East preview pod earlier in the week, but take us into your program, man. Like, what are you seeing? Give me as much honesty as you can possibly afford here. Like, are you seeing a group that you have belief can be top 3, top 4 in the league, can compete for, a 3, 4, 5 seed? Do you see that, or do you still, is it a situation where it's like, Matt, check in with me in 6 weeks and I'll still know more?
I would say both.
Yeah? Okay. I'll take it.
I think it's a group that absolutely has the potential to grow into the team you describe. But I compare this team in some ways to who we were my first couple years at Marquette, where there's going to be a lot of becoming over the first, 2-3 months of the season. We're growing into roles. We're figuring each other out. Sean Jones is coming back from injury. And so for him to work his way back into playing form more mentally and emotionally than physically, because he's been practicing for quite a while, is going to be big. We've got some new guys that are going to be pieces on our team that we feel like can help us. So it's definitely a group that's still coming together, but we're excited about it.
All right, let's go to the new guys real quick. When you say that, who's a couple, and don't go coach speak on me and list off 6 guys. Okay, don't do it, Shaka. Give me 1 or 2 guys that that the team would know, like the players know. The players know it's true out there. That if when you say, by the way, for everyone that's not familiar, when he says new guys, he literally means freshmen. Okay, because there's not a transfer in the program. 1 or 2 freshmen that have shown throughout the summer and into the fall, like they're ready, and I expect them to earn real minutes in November.
I would say Nigel James and Adrian Stevens.
Okay.
We knew a long time ago that Cam Jones and Stevie Mitchell were going to be leaving after last year, graduating. And so we felt like that was a key position for us in that recruiting class. Nigel James is a point guard from Long Island, and he is electric. He's quick. One thing about our team is it's probably the fastest team that I've ever coached.
Okay.
So just from the standpoint of speed, we have that, and Nigel James is a big part of that. And Adrian Stevens is a tough, physical, really good shooting guard who's learning his way as a freshman, but he'll definitely impact us early.
Let's talk about Chase Ross. He's the only member of your team that got preseason all-conference accolades there. You've had a really nice run of some really impactful guards. Obviously, Chase is no stranger to the Marquette fan base. As he steps into an even bigger role, I love talking with you about these kind of things when it's just you and him talking about stuff, and whether that was going back in the spring, over the summer, or if you caught him on a one-to-one meeting earlier this month. How much of it is allowing him to like truly grow and be into his own player versus, okay, we have had a system here where quite clearly you have seen what guards can do in our system, how they can thrive and become, elite players within this conference. How do you balance that? What's he seeking from you? What kind of advice are you trying to give to him?
You're doing really good with 2 things are true at once today, because it is both of those. I mean, he's been on the team with Tyler. He's been on the team with Cam Jones. So he's seen that evolution for those guys. At the same time, he's his own man. And he's a guy, when he first came to us, that wasn't sure that he could play at this level. On this very court, his freshman year, he made unbelievable contributions to help us win the Big East tournament. So it's been an evolution for him in terms of belief. This year is another big step, because when you go into that top cup, as we call it, there's higher expectations. There's more pressure. There's more of an opportunity for there to be a frustration gap caused by your play maybe not being always at the highest level that you expect. But through 4 weeks of practice, he's handled it really well. He's been a good leader. He is of the highest character and toughness, which is a great place to start.
Okay, who else should we narrow in on? Guys that projected starters, returnees for your Marquette fan base, plenty of whom are dialed in, are all too familiar, but folks that are just kind of getting reacquainted. Other guys back that you have high expectations for, and if their roles are going to be slightly tweaked, how in what ways would that be the case?
Well, I mentioned Sean Jones. He's a guy that was very impactful to our team 2 years ago, and then sat out last year as he was recovering from injury. He's a guy that brings incredible speed, quickness, a great leader, and someone that we're really excited about. Caden Hamilton is a young man that probably walking around here today Most people don't know who he is.
I could not pick him out of a lineup.
You couldn't pick him out of a lineup. But as soon as you watch us play this year, you will see the impact that he has on our team. He immediately makes our front court tougher and more formidable. So very excited about those guys.
Okay. Let's go big picture on stuff. And I know you've talked about this plenty, but no better time than now. And I'd love to dive into this with you later on the season in general. What is your opinion on the state of the game? Parrish and I mentioned on our podcast, and this is not derogatory. We find that your belief in recruiting high school players and developing them and not going to the portal is among other things, it is a stubborn approach. But this is going to be so. We know how you're doing this, but is the way that you're running your program also, even if somewhat inadvertently, is it a non-spoken commentary on where you find the state of college basketball, or to those two things, are those not connected?
Not at all. I mean, there's always been so many different ways to skin a cat in college basketball. Obviously, with the changes in the rules and the changes in how things have worked, people have diverged even more. But, we don't in any way have any negative beliefs about anyone else. We just have positive beliefs about how we go about it. You and I could talk about it, and you probably still wouldn't fully understand unless you spent several days within our program, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. The media's job is to simplify. The media's job is to summarize. Anytime you do want to come spend several days in our program, you're more than welcome.
Okay, fair enough. And I may well take you up on that sooner than later. I'm curious if, in the process of late March, early mid-April, as a head coach, do you have a litany of agents that are calling you, getting your number, texting you, or going to your staff and still just trying to break through? And they could be in good faith and good intention, or did you feel as though that wasn't as prominent because you understand that your reputation as a program and what you're trying to do, there just weren't as many people proverbially knocking on your door? I just wonder if it was more or less or just more of the same, that particularly with this past cycle, with everyone that you lost from last season.
Do you mean knocking on our door with agents?
Correct. Are agents finding you and saying, hey, listen, Shaka, I know this is not your deal, but
with transfers,
this guy, I really think you should give him a shot, or are people maybe not even trying as much as
well, I'll tell you, people are always going to do their job. I remember, I think it was 3 years ago, we got a call about a player that was transferring from a mid-major school, ended up in our league, ended up having a really, really good career. And the call was, hey, do you want him? It's $1 million. This was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And so people are always going to call. They're going to do their job. Because of our model, we're not going to be in the market for people asking for that much. We would rather reward a guy like Chase Ross, who's been in our program and won games and worn the uniform. But yeah, we still get calls. We still have people that express interest. That doesn't mean they definitely would come, because the thing that, I think gets lost a little bit in this is, there's transfers you can take that can be major impact guys on your team culturally, defensively, and offensively. There's also people that could take away from your team in some ways in those three areas. And for us, we place an incredible value on growth. And that's first and foremost the growth of our current players. So we feel like the emergence of a guy like Tyler Kolek, the emergence of a guy like Cam Jones, Oso Ighodaro, was allowed by having a void there to step into by departing players. And that requires you to have some young guys that you feel that strongly about. So that'll get put to the test for us over the next few years.
Yes, it will. I'm very interested to see how that all pans out.
It's interesting. You seem like you don't fully buy it because you don't fully understand it. But
that's not true. I think you're talking. I will have you ranked higher than any human in the entire country. Let's be extremely clear about this. I have Marquette third in the Big East, and I think that you're going to be a top 25 level team. Because frankly, and I said this on the Big East preview show, until I see it not work with what you're doing, I will have faith that you and your staff are going to get it done. If it doesn't get done this year, then okay, then we can circle back, okay, and we can have a meeting of the minds. But no, I definitely don't get me wrong. I definitely believe it. Last question for you, tied to this a little bit. Are there people in other walks of sports life or just in general that you have talked to that don't build basketball? Not the NBA level, they don't build basketball rosters, but that have kind of informed your philosophy on this, be it in another sport or just non-sports in general, when it comes to how you run your program, you're very well connected and you can do a lot of reading. I just wonder if there are certain people that fans might not realize that you kind of go to for some insights and have kind of gleaned and helped you do your job over the past few years.
Well, actually, Coach Raveling, who just passed away several weeks ago, was probably my biggest influence as it relates to roster building. But yeah, we're always trying to learn from other folks. I've gotten a chance to visit with 5 different football programs in the last year and a half.
I saw you at the Packers, by the way. I'm a Bears fan. And I believe once upon a time, he told me he was a Bears fan, so I don't know how – I understand.
Well, I went to a Bears playoff game back in the 80s when they were really, really good. My grandfather lived in Chicago my whole childhood. So, but I live in Milwaukee, man. You can't not be a Packers fan living in Milwaukee.
Okay. Anyway, keep it going. Anyway, you visited a number of different NFL
teams. And, you know, there's so much that you can learn from different industries. But everyone's a little bit different. Everyone's rules are different. Everyone's calendar's a little bit different. At the end of the day, for us, we value relationships, growth, and victory. And those 3 are not values in a silo separately. They all are interconnected. And we believe the way we go about it is the best fit for Marquette and those 3 core values together. We're excited about continuing to put it to the test. I think it's really, really easy for anyone to look at a snapshot result and say this works or doesn't work. I know it is a different way of going about it, but, you know, I would encourage you just watch us over the long term, going back 4 years. Watch us, because we haven't taken a Division I transfer since my very first spring at Marquette, and then just evaluate how we do. Obviously the results on the floor, but also what happens with our guys in terms of their growth and development as people and as players.
That's Shaka Smart. Fascinated by it. So intrigued to see what you and your team can do this season. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll try to get to Milwaukee as soon as I can.
You're always welcome.
Thank you.